Hi, my name is Pastor Jeremy Lundy from First Baptist Church, Dallas, Georgia, and my good friend Trip Coombs runs a website called Fraction Ministries, and I wanted to speak very, very quickly on a subject that many who see his site may have questions over, and that is just simply the question of suffering. Many people have a lot of angst in the world as they look around. They see war, they see famine, they see domestic abuse, they see sexual slavery, they see the most innocent of all of us, children, are oftentimes the leading contributor of suffering in this world. How can we answer the question, is this world even worth living in because of the suffering? We in America are insulated from much of the rest of the world because of our wonderful government, our wonderful the surroundings we're in. But the world, I know, is a very dark, dark place. And even in America, we have some dark, dark corners. Here's the thing. God is a very good God. He is a holy God. He is a loving God. And He did make this world. But there is suffering. And that suffering comes from one place. And that suffering comes from when man goes against what God would have. It's kind of like I used to work at Sherwin-Williams, and when I was in seminary in North Carolina. In Sherwin-Williams, we had different colors of white. Some was pure white, some was bright white, some was off-white, some was all different color of whites. And so people would bring this and says, this white, and it looks so bright and so pure until you put it up against the whitest of whites, and that white would look dingy. But without that, without placing it against another truth or another example, you couldn't tell just how dingy the white really was. Same thing for us, that God is the greatest example that we can ever know, the one that we find in the Scriptures, the one that was revealed to His Son, Jesus Christ. And He has said that this world was created perfect and created just the way He wanted. But man's sin, when we go against what He wants us to do, has darkened it, has caused suffering, has caused pain. But God didn't stop there. He said, through my Son, you can be redeemed, you can be forgiven. In fact, the Scripture says that without Jesus, man is dead, but with Him, we can have life. So suffering allows us to see the purity of God, and the purity of God and the love of God tells us that we can maybe not escape suffering in this world, but we can understand it and one day be in heaven where suffering does not exist, but only is found through the purity of His Son, Jesus Christ, who was born and lived a perfect life, died on the cross, was raised in 3 days, seen by 500 people to prove I am now the way to understand love, God, forgiveness, and a way out of suffering. And so, don't get depressed about suffering. Don't feel like it will always exist. It will not. Jesus has defeated it. You find your way out of suffering through Christ alone. Thank you very much.